Before we dive into the story, tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more HFY Sci-Fi stories. The galaxy had stopped respecting Earth a long time ago, not because Earth was weak, but because it refused to die. And in a universe ruled by strength, survival without permission was considered an insult. Humanity was not welcomed among the stars. It was tolerated, barely. Every council meeting ended the same way, someone proposing Earth's final removal from galactic records. And every time, another war was narrowly avoided. Until today, inside the Grand Orion Court, the highest seat of interstellar authority, thousands of alien delegates filled the circular chamber. Each species represented power that could crush planets, bend solar systems, and rewrite civilizations. And at the center of it all sat her, Princess Seraphine of the Virellian Empire, cold, elegant, unmoved. Her kind did not negotiate with lesser species, they evaluated them. And Earth was under review. A red mark already hovered beside its name in the galactic ledger. Final extinction consideration. The chamber doors opened. A human walked in. Commander Elias Vance. No armor of royalty, no grand escorts, just a simple uniform marked with Earth's insignia. A few delegates laughed immediately. One of them whispered, "They sent a soldier? For judgment?" Another replied, "How adorable!" But Elias did not react. He walked forward like the laughter did not exist, like the entire galaxy was just background noise. And that alone disturbed Seraphine. Humans were supposed to fear this place, not walk into it like they belonged. "State your purpose," Seraphine said coldly. Her voice silenced the chamber instantly. Elias stopped, looked up, and answered, "I came to stop you from making a mistake you'll regret for the rest of your species' history." A wave of laughter exploded through the court. Even some of the council elders smiled. But Seraphine did not. She studied him, measured him. "You think Earth is important enough to threaten regret?" Elias tilted his head slightly. "No," he said calmly. "I think your confidence is dangerous enough to blind you." Silence fell again, this time heavier. Seraphine rose from her throne and descended slowly toward him. Every guard in the chamber tightened their stance. Humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was classified as threat behavior. She stopped just a few steps away. "You stand in the presence of civilizations older than your species," she said. "Show respect." Elias looked at her directly. "I respect strength," he replied. "I just don't confuse it with arrogance." A flicker, something subtle crossed her expression. Not anger, not amusement. Something closer to irritation mixed with curiosity. Because no human had ever spoken to her like this before. The council voted minutes later. Earth's fate was already decided. Extermination protocol. But before the final confirmation could pass, a message interrupted the system. A breach inside the palace. Explosions echoed through the lower levels. The chamber shook. Guards rushed out. Lights flickered. And for the first time in centuries, the galactic court was not stable. Seraphine turned sharply. "What is happening?" No answer came. Only alarms, and then silence, broken by more explosions. Elias moved first. "Stay behind me," he said. Seraphine turned toward him sharply. "You will not give me orders." He didn't argue. He just said, "Then don't die proving a point." That line froze her for half a second. Then another explosion tore through the outer corridor. Security systems collapsed. The palace, once considered impenetrable, was falling apart. And in the chaos, Seraphine realized something impossible. She was not protected anymore. For the first time in her life, she was vulnerable, and the only person standing between her and whatever was attacking was a human. They moved through collapsing hallways. Smoke filled the air. Metal bent under pressure waves. And somewhere far behind them, screams echoed. Seraphine finally snapped. "Why are you still here?" Elias didn't slow down. "Because you're still alive." That is not an answer. It is the only one that matters. They turned a corner, and another blast hit. Elias pulled her down instinctively. Debris flew overhead. The corridor behind them collapsed completely. For a moment, everything went quiet. Too quiet. Seraphine pushed herself up, breathing unevenly. "You should have left me," she said. Elias looked at her. "I don't abandon people in burning buildings. That is irrational. That is human." Something in her expression shifted again. Confusion this time, not about him, about herself, because something inside her refused to call his actions foolish. They escaped the palace through a maintenance tunnel. Barely. The chamber still trembled with chaos. Alarms screamed through the execution command center. Holographic war maps flickered as fleets shifted positions. Human ships holding formation at the edge of sanctioned space, neither advancing nor retreating. Waiting. The council tried to regain control, but control had already slipped through their fingers. Seraphine stood still between them and Elias. Not as a princess, not as a prisoner, just as a decision that could no longer be undone. "You think this changes anything?" the council leader barked. "One act of rebellion does not erase centuries of law." Seraphine finally turned her head slightly. "It doesn't erase them," she said. "It exposes them." A murmur spread through the chamber. Not everyone there was angry. Some were uncertain. That was worse for the council than defiance. Elias leaned closer to her, voice low. "You realize there's no going back from this, right?" She gave a faint, almost tired breath. "I stopped going back the moment I stopped believing you were all the same." A pause. Then, softer. "And the moment I realized I was not either." Outside the station, space shifted. Human ships held position. But something else was arriving now. Signals. Transmissions from allied colonies, outer systems, independent fleets that had never trusted the Council's judgment in the first place. One by one they responded, not with weapons, but with presence. Witnesses. The galaxy was watching. The Council leader saw it too. His voice lowered, less command now, more warning. "If you stand with him, Seraphine, you will become the first traitor in our recorded history." She looked at the vast assembly of elders, generals, and judges who once shaped her entire world. And for the first time, she didn't feel small in front of them. "I'm not standing with him," she said quietly. A pause. "I'm standing with what you refuse to see." A silence followed that no alarm could drown. Then she stepped forward and placed her crest, the symbol of her authority, on the central console. It pulsed once, then went dark. Across the fleet channels, a signal spread unexpectedly. It bypassed Council encryption, originating from Seraphine's own command key. A single override phrase, "Cease execution protocol." The system hesitated, then accepted. The order collapsed mid-execution sequence. Earth's destruction fleet froze. For the first time in centuries, a command from within the Council itself had been broken by its own air. Elias exhaled slowly. "You just turned the whole galaxy upside down." She almost smiled. "No," she said. "It was already upside down. No one wanted to admit it." The Council leader stepped forward one last time, voice colder now. "This will not be forgiven." Seraphine met his gaze without fear. "I'm not asking to be forgiven." A beat. "I'm asking you to finally be honest." Then everything changed at once. Human ships activated defensive lights, not firing, not advancing, just present. A boundary, not a threat, a message in itself. And slowly, something unexpected happened across Council ranks. A hesitation, a lowered weapon, a broken formation, not surrender, questioning. The execution chamber, once designed for absolute judgment, became something it had never been before, a place where certainty failed. Seraphine stepped down from the raised platform and walked toward Elias. When she reached him, there was no ceremony left between them. No titles, no empires, just two people standing at the edge of something no one had ever survived before. Change. "You know they'll try again," Elias said. She nodded slightly. Yes, and you're still here. She looked at him for a long moment. I didn't choose war, she said softly. I chose you being allowed to exist in a universe that said you shouldn't. A distant tremor passed through the station as fleets recalibrated, no longer aimed at destruction, but uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, something fragile was born. Not peace yet, not victory, just the first breath of a galaxy learning that its oldest truth might have been wrong. And for Seraphine and Elias, standing at the center of it all, that was enough to keep going.